We find ourselves once again Suffolk County, Lake Ronkonkoma, and this is the actual lake of Ronkonkoma. And let me tell you a story. It's up to you guys whether you believe it or not. But this is the story about Ronkonkoma. Actually go a little bit closer down by the water. A nice area for picnics and everything like that, right? If you wanted to. This chilly day. Suffolk County, about 75 miles outside of NYC. All the hustle and bustle. Let me tell you the story about Ronkonkoma. So, apparently what has happened here, and they say that the lake is haunted. Lake Ronkonkoma is Long Island's deepest lake, biggest. For some time, the Indians thought the lake was bottomless because people who had drowned there would often just disappear. The bodies never really recovered. However, even though this myth still exists, the lake is certainly not bottomless. It measures about 70 feet at its deepest point. The most prevalent legend is about Princess Ronkonkoma, an Indian princess who died at the lake in the mid-1600s. One version of the story is that she was walking across the ice water one winter when she met and fell in love with an English woodcutter named Hugh Birdsall, who lived across the lake. Across the lake right there. However, her father, chief of the Suffolk tribe, forbidden their relationship. So, for every day for 7 years, she would write letters on pieces of bark row in the middle of the lake. So she would row out there and float the letters across the lake to Hugh. Then, after all those years of being kept apart from her love, she rowed right into the middle of the lake and stabbed herself to death. Many different variations of the story, such as that the princess drowned herself after learning about her lover's death, and that her body washed up in Connecticut, which ties into the idea that the lake is bottomless, and that there are underground channels to other lakes. While there's no proof that the princess ever did exist, Hugh Birdsall was an actual real person who eventually moved back to England and got married. In any case, the story goes that she claims a boy's life every year. Every year a boy's life is claimed. And they say that there is a boy's life that's claimed every year, either to avenge her lover's death or to try to find herself a soulmate in death. And those statistics back up this quote-unquote curse. Of all the recorded drownings on this lake, the vast majority have been young males. A statistic was drawn. One individual who was a lifeguard at Lake Ronkonkoma for 32 summers says that there were at least 30 deaths during that time, all males. One of the biggest challenges was that the visibility in the lake is non-existent after about the first 10 feet. So if anyone submerges lower than that, no one will be able to ever rescue that person because the quote-unquote the lake becomes kind of enveloped in total blackness. And out here, Long Island paranormal investigators have made their presence felt here too. Apparently there is a lights that stream from this lake at certain times too. But the paranormal activity investigators so far, the investigations have been inclusive, meaning they come out here to see if there's any paranormal activity. Another thing that goes on with this lake, why the lake rises and falls with no relation to local rainfall. The Indians believed it to be work of the Manitos, the great spirit of the lake. A study over the course of 7 years in the early 1990s, the rainfall on Long Island was below the usual average by about 52 inches, yet the lake rose 7 feet. There also have been rumors of healing properties of the lake. At one point, this has been a lake that they said even actually cures diseases, various ailments. There has been an old ad promoting the lake as a health resort that cured diseases. This is the location Lakeshore Road. Is this lake haunted? Do you dare take a swim? Tough to say. These birds don't seem to be bothered by it. But me, I will pass.